Call this meeting to order, the Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors for November 13th, 2018. Roll call, Mr. Beater.
Leyland.
Here.
Little.
Here.
Magsman.
Here.
Schwartz.
Here.
White.
Here, have a moment of silence to reflect on our actions of the day. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have the agenda received
So
as
moved.
proposed or as amended?
Sec.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Public comments, anybody from the public that would like to comment on anything other than what's on the agenda, please come to the microphone and give your name and address.
My name's Dwayne Eilers. I live at 1205.5 Bishop Street, Waterloo. I was here once before and brought up the property at 2265 Independence Avenue that I own. I give them to you.
Dan, Mira Grant.
The property is 4 skinny little lots with a house on it. The house lot went from 30,000 assessed value to 45,000. A little skinny lot next to it went from 500 to 1,300. The lot next to that went from 4,000 to 25,000 value, 600% increase in value on the same lots that have been there for years and years, all one property. And the last lot went from 13,000 value up to 33,000 some change. I got a 600% increase, a 400% increase, a 150% increase on one, still all one lot. It's just a house and a garage on it. And it's been that way for, well, 40 years. And I'd like to have somebody help me out, find out what's going on, I guess. I don't know how you can change a lot, unbuildable lot, from 4,000 to 25,000 in value. And I appreciate your help. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Eilers, when you were here previously, you had asked this question, and we did inquire to the assessor's office about the specifics on that. And so I think if you would be willing to meet with them or go over and meet with them across the hall, they had some information that pertained exactly to what those changes were about.
I talked with them one time, and they said because the house was supposed to be the people that I rented the house to used it for a party house. They come once a month and have a party there. And they said because they considered a party house, that the property increased 600%.
Well, they didn't state that being a party house in the email, but I was going to say they do have some additional information and might be able to provide that explanation for you.
Well, one of the other things that was on there was there's a, what is it, a 4x8 or a 4x10 shed, and they put that on for full taxable value every year. I didn't know you tax little bitty sheds. Again, I'm asking you guys, but I appreciate anything you can do.
Well, would you like the assessor to contact you, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. He can come out. I'll go out there with him. Whatever he wants. They
Right
can-
across the hall, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Next is claims and...
Oh, yeah, it would.
Oh, go ahead, sir. I didn't know you.
Name is Russell Schmitz. I live on 13232 Dysart Road. My wife and I are expecting to retire from farming next year. Anyway, we're also going to, we have an acreage with buildings and 76 acres attached. We plan on keeping the land but selling the building site. Therein lies the problem. We have a ditch in front of the field, the number of acres that we're going to keep, and we have no access. So I've gotten with the county engineer's office and looked at a driveway for access. Okay, the only thing they come up with was a 8x4 box culvert, which is what they recommended, the only thing they recommended, at a cost of $32,000. To back up a little bit, I've already contacted my next door neighbor to the south. Anyway, it was a flat no to get a driveway off the corner of her property, because that was just south of the box culvert that comes across the Dysart Road that carries so much water. So I have a small diagram here if you're interested.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I wouldn't call this exactly unique circumstances, but yes, it is. The box culvert that comes across the driveway or across Dysart Road is at an angle, and it's right at the property line. Anyway, like I said, I've contacted my next door neighbor to the south, Alice Werner's. It was a flat no to get a driveway across the corner of her property. So the only thing that was left is now to put in a box culvert, as the county recommended, the county engineer's office recommended. And at this point, I'm looking for some cost share from the county, because as you'll see on the first page of the county engineer's letter, once the installation is complete to our satisfaction, we sign off and it becomes our property. It is in the county right of way, and they are responsible thereafter. But I'm looking at a minimum of $32,000 just for the box culvert at today's price, and that doesn't include installation. So I'm asking your help.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else from the public? Moving on to claims and payments. This resolution, the Board of Supervisors approve expenditures that the county auditor authorized and issue checks for the county bills.
The county expenditures total $620,494.12, 620494.12, and that includes approximately $236,000 towards the new phone system.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Move to second. Any discussion? This resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is a resolution that the Board of Supervisors approve expenditures for Country View Care Facility.
Country View, the expenditures that will be paid this week total $46,381.34, 46381.34. We will not be paying approximately $282,000 of the October bills due to the county. Country View's bank balance this morning is approximately $329,000.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved in second. Discussion on this item. This resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Little,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Leyland?
Yes.
White?
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is receive project updates from department heads and elected officials. Morning, Kathy.
Good morning, Kathy Nicholas, County Engineer. Rory, could I have the screens on, please? This morning, I wanted to give you an update on our Finchford Road Bridge project. As you know, this is a very large bridge rehabilitation taking place just north of the Finchford community on Finchford Road. We have two large structures up there. One crosses the Cedar River, one is an overflow structure of the river. We contracted with Kramer Associates, a bridge contractor out of Des Moines. They received the contract for almost $900,000 earlier this year. They've been working on it steadily for about 4 or 5 months now, and we are getting very close to finishing the bridge. And we have encountered an issue that I just wanted you to be aware of. It's uncommon as for us. We are dealing with the issue, but I wanted to make you aware of it. So what you have on the screen are some bridge bearings, and these are bearings, pieces of metal that sit between the steel beams that hold up the deck and the abutments. The abutments are on the north and south portion of the bridges. So we obviously need these bearings because steel cannot slide on concrete. As steel contracts and expands, it moves. We need these bearings to offer a little bit of ease so that those beams can move throughout the year. So you can see over the years, these steel bearings and the bolts that hold the bearings to the abutments, they do get corroded. The south abutment seems to be more corroded, probably due just to salt and water seeping through the bridge joint over the past 30 or 40 years. So this is the way the bearings looked this year before rehabilitation took place. So you can see that there's quite a bit of corrosion on the bolts. There are approximately 12 bolts on the north abutment and 12 bolts on the south abutment. So we asked our contractor to sandblast the bearings, and you can see they've come out much cleaner. This is typically called the gray state. They're now free of any rust. And what's happened is this bolt that goes into the concrete abutment that holds the bearing on, once it's sandblasted, many of the bolts have gotten very, very thin. I didn't have a photo of that. And so our inspector, we test those bolts then. Many of them have snapped off. There's nothing holding the bearing onto the abutment any longer. And this is the majority of the bolts now on the south abutment, and I believe some of the bolts on the north abutment. We are working with Chuck Britson, our structural consultant, to determine what to do. This is an unusual situation for us. We're not structural engineers. It makes sense that the bearings would need to be held in place to the abutment, even though there's the large weight of the bridge holding the bearings down. We were set to open the bridge this week. The only remaining items of work are these bearing corrections, and then painting of the pavement markings had yet to be done, but that could probably be done today or tomorrow. And then the joint material has to be placed in the joints on both the north and the south end. So I will say that we are working with Chuck Britson. At this time, I'm just not sure if we should be opening the bridge with traffic on it when these bearings are not fastened to the bridge. We are waiting on word from our consultant on that. Meanwhile, we are getting calls from several residents up there who really want this road opened. We have at least one county employee who drives the road every day. So we are well aware that we need to get this bridge open, and we are working to get that open.
What's the time frame if you're going to replace the bearings?
I don't have a good answer for that. Our contractor said that it is not possible just due to these pieces of metal above the bearings. It's not possible to get any type of apparatus in there to drill these out, which is done commonly in many other industrial applications. You're able to drill out that bolt and place concrete or epoxy a new bolt in there. just due to the very tight confines of this area, they're saying that's not possible. They had a specialist come in over the weekend and look at these bearings, and they've done this before on other bridges. So I don't know. I'll keep you informed, but right now we're waiting to hear back from our structural engineers on how to proceed.
Seems you'd want to be on the side of safety rather than this bridge's been
Yeah.
closed for months.
Yes.
Whether it takes another month or not, I would think you'd want to make your decision based on the safety of those crossing the bridge.
Yeah, that's our primary concern, and we're doing everything we can to get the situation remedied. But I wanted you to be aware of this in case you get any phone calls on the situation. And we'll alert the residents as they call us. Can I answer any other questions about the roads or this situation? Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy,
Yeah.
what's the status on the Blackhawk Grundy Road?
So we are moving ahead with the survey, the preliminary survey on that road. The Grundy County engineer, the Grundy County supervisors have indicated that last month they passed a resolution that they are still in favor of pursuing the paving of Grundy Road. So we are moving ahead with the design this winter. We'll get into much more of that.
So they're committed to financing that road in which year?
2021 would be the initial grading, replacing culverts and doing the grading, and then come back the next year to do the asphalt paving, is the plan.
So it's fiscal year 2021.
Yes, yep,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. Any other department head or elected officials? Moving on to minutes approved for November 6th, 2018.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Hearing at 9:05, hearing to be for proposed vacation of McStay Road. Next is consent agenda by resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion on any of the items? This resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Maxman.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is a resolution that the taxes on submitted properties which have come into public ownership through community development efforts, public infrastructure, and improvement of public purpose acquisition be abated and be to instruct the county treasurer to adjust her records accordingly.
So moved.
Second.
Move to second. Any discussion? This is a resolution. Please answer your name is called.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
Maxman.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. This is a resolution that the taxes due and payable of the submitted persons as indicated, including special assessments and rates or charges, including interest, fees, and costs, in accordance with the provisions of 427.9 of the Code of Iowa, will be suspended, and that the future property taxes on property owned by these persons will be suspended for such period of time as they retain the owners of the parcels. Moved. Do I have a second? Moved and second. Any discussion? This resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Leyland.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
Maxman.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. This resolution that the Nationwide Retirement Services Option 2 for changing the guaranteed minimum interest rate for fixed annuity contracts in the Blackhawk County Deferred Comp Plan be approved as recommended by Deferred Comp Committee.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Who sits on the committee?
Grant.
I do, and Debbie does.
Yeah, HR.
Okay,
Two other people.
all right. Any discussion, further discussion? This resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Little.
Yes.
Maxman.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. This resolution that the adoption of a nationwide retirement system Freedom Pro Plus plan for in the Blackhawk County Deferred Compensation Plan be approved as recommended by Deferred Compensation Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this item? This is a resolution. Please answer your name as called.
Little,
Yes.
Maxman,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is a motion that the appointment of Susan Deaton, County Finance Director, as member of the Blackhawk County Deferred Comp Committee be approved.
So
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this item? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Next, the resolution to authorize the Assistant County Attorney to formally engage Attorney Craig Sieverding and the Davis Brown Law Firm.
F.
What?
Item F.
Oh, sorry. Motion to approve installing HughesNet. For some reason, I already marked it off. Satellite internet service for the county, Country View with monthly data charges.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion on this item?
Yeah, we should have some kind of a dollar figure here. We're not approving an open checkbook.
Well, Sherry's quote on the minimum data charges is $109.99 a month. And we're going to go with the minimum right now to see how well that works. Right now, CFU offers unlimited data for them at $67.50 a month.
So
But
we're just approving the monthly charges right now?
Right, yep.
And then is this a contract?
There's no contract.
Monthly.
I'm assuming we'll take a month or two to make sure that it works. Or,
I'm hoping that we can get it set up to try it out. Our anticipated closing date is still the end of the year, so that will give us maybe a month to see how it works prior to the transition.
thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Now we'll try this one. Resolution to authorize the Assistant County Attorney to formally engage Attorney Craig Sieverding and the Davis Brown Law Firm to pursue legal action against United Healthcare for amounts due and owing for Country View residents.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this item.
And again, on this one, I know we had discussion on this last week. What are we actually approving today? To go to a certain point or go all the way? Are we committing all the way or what?
Last week, you entertained the idea of retaining this outside counsel
Sure.
for this. And after your instructions last week, Mike Trinan talked with them, and they agreed to represent the county in this matter. They said that they would reduce their standard fee by 10%. And this type of relationship, you can cut this relationship off at any time. So the idea is that you would develop your case as much as you can at this point, and on the basis of that information, make a demand against the insurance company. And then if that is not successful to your satisfaction, then we will proceed with the filing of a lawsuit in this matter, and it would go on from there. And of course, your expenses will go up as you proceed toward the lawsuit.
So how will the board be made aware as time goes on what we're spending?
Well, first of all, there will be periodic bills that will come through that you will know then what it's costing. And then, as this thing develops, we will keep you posted. I'm sure it will be necessary to have closed sessions so you can discuss strategy with counsel. So you should be kept pretty fully aware. If you're not, of course, just contact Mike or me and we'll get you the information that you need right away.
I think the periodic bills, the board should receive those too.
All right, I'm sure you will receive those. That's where the billing is going, not to my office.
Any further discussion? This is a resolution. Please answer your name is called.
Maxman,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. We're now at a 9:05 hearing on the vacation of McStay Road. Request by Lee Bader. It is now 9:25. Motion to receive and place on file proof of publication for notice of public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Moving second, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Motion to close the hearing after all written comments were received and placed on file. Any written comments?
No, sir.
Kathy, you're up.
Yeah, could I please have the screens back on? So as you recall, earlier this year, we had Mr. Bader and his adjoining property owner, Mr. Ryder, come forth and ask us to do something about the McStay Road. And this is the portion from Young Road to just north of Highway 20. So this would be east of Waterloo here. They had experienced quite a bit of garbage, nails, rusty nails, other debris in the road over a period of many years. The county, we have gone in there periodically and had to clean up some of this debris. Mr. Bader had asked us to either put up a gate or to perhaps vacate it. In coming forth and speaking with you, you had advised that you were in favor of the vacation option if it could be assured that these two owners were not landlocked, that they would have a permanent access to Young Road. So Mr. Bader and the three other residents did pursue a permanent easement that was recorded in October 22nd, I believe, here at the recorder's office, so they have fulfilled that requirement, thereby giving these back to property owners a permanent easement to Young Road. We then, myself, I did send out letters as required by the Code of Iowa for a vacation to all the landowners. I sent out several more to, I believe, the owner of this parcel and the parcel up here. We also notified the utilities as required by law, and we will notify the DOT if this is to change. Just a few photos I'd shown you earlier in the year. This is what the road looked like, I believe, in September. So you can see we haven't done any maintenance in several years out there. The landowners have been the ones mowing the property, mowing the road. And this is how it looks as you approach Highway 20. So they have fulfilled their requirements as you suggested, so I would ask that you consider the vacation of this portion of McStay Road.
Did you post any signage out there that there's a public hearing on this?
We did not. That is not in the code, but in the future, we could definitely,
I thought
Do
we
that.
usually did that for a public hearing.
typically, we haven't. We haven't done a lot of vacations in this county, but the past few, we haven't done any.
And then
notification.
we're not putting a fence up or a gate or anything.
So I would say that is up to the property owners, the new property owners.
I agree, because it's gonna be their land. so.
Yeah. We will put up a sign. We believe there should be some type of notification that the road is closed, probably a T intersection. And we will work with the adjoining property owners for a suitable message to the public once they take ownership.
I imagine they'll probably be farming right into that eventually.
Well, two of them have to have access
Yeah, they still-
on the south end, or
Yeah.
Thank you, Kathy.
thank you.
And one more question. Did you have to have this surveyed?
So we worked with Mr. Burke, and we just came up with the legal description from the original, when the road was created in the 1850s. We just took a simple legal description.
Is that that's county property, right?
We have a permanent easement on that roadway today, so.
Yeah, but I mean, right now it's county property.
Yes, the underlying owners are still, there are still underlying owners here. We only have it by permanent easement, and that's what we are giving up with this vacation.
Is that true with every road?
If we have acquired it by permanent easement, the code says we can have a permanent easement for public highway usage. And then it is essentially ours, but we do not own the underlying title. Would you like to expand on that, Peter?
Well, I think years ago, it used to be more common to have these permanent easements, but I think as time has gone on, public entities have demanded that they be the fee simple title owners. So most of our roads are going to be roads that we own, but there are a number of old ones. Remember, this goes back to the 1850s, where the county merely has an easement for road purposes. That's what this situation is.
Okay. And this doesn't require 3 readings?
Well, the readings that you have will be sufficient here for this one.
Any questions?
Motion to close the hearing.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Resolution to consider any damages to property owners affected by vacating and conveying to the above-named individuals the county-owned property described above.
So moved.
Second.
Move to second. This resolution, please answer your name as called.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. This resolution that the Board of Supervisors vacate and convey to the above-named individuals the county-owned property described above.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? This resolution, please answer your name as called.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next resolution to direct the chair to sign a final order of vacation, vacating and conveying to the above-named individual the county-owned property described above.
So moved.
Second.
Moved to second. Any discussion? This resolution, please answer your name as called.
Little,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next, a resolution that the chair be directed to sign quitclaim deeds to the adjoining property owners above named individuals for the parcels legally described above.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? This resolution, please answer your name as called.
Little,
Yes.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is, we'll be moving into closed session. This is a resolution that pursuant to the provisions of the Iowa Open Meeting Law, the Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors shall proceed into closed session at 9:33 for the purpose of collective bargaining strategies pursuant to 20.17 of the Code of Iowa.
So moved.
Second.
This resolution, please answer your name as called.
Eichmann,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. All right. We are now at a closed session. Motion to adjourn the Board of Supervisors meeting in executive session.
Second.
Moving to second, any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Any reports or information from the board?
Linda and I went down to the Urban County Coalition Friday afternoon. And I guess with the makeup of the legislature and having newer people on the legislature, they're forgetting the state commitment for the property tax rollback. The best guess is that they'll do it over a 3-year time frame. I guess we can encourage our state representatives here, but they're in the minority, whether they'll have any impact on that. And I guess that brings up an issue I'd like to get some feedback from the board. Do you want to meet with the legislative state offices before the first of the year?
I think it's still a good idea, especially if we get
them here.
some of those folks in the
I
majority.
mean, we have
party
one
that
new,
small
one new
slivers.
individual on it, the rest of them. So that 3-year The other thing I think is what's taking place with our mental health funding. And Craig, sure you're going to be involved with this, but they're moving to having children covered under the mental health issue. And they look at the sources of funding, private insurance, medical assistant program, whatever that is. Iowa Department of Public Health, who hasn't been a funder of this. The County Social Services will be the major funder.
Major
of it,
funder, yeah.
and how that will impact us in the year. And then they have community health, mental health block grants, and I have no idea what that means.
Where that money comes from.
So out of those five, I see the regional mental health being the major funder, and nobody's put a price tag on that. They put the criteria out there, but I think it could be substantial.
Yeah.
And if it goes back to county social services funding, these needed, but I don't see any participation from the state level on working on this. The other areas concern are certainly the water quality and the IPERS, although the governor says she's not going to touch IPERS. The open, I can't get that out, the epidemic with opioids, and then we look at tax credits, increment tax financing, Medicare reimbursement, early childhood, and then the DCAT thing. And then we look at the unfunded mandates, which I think are increasing, being pushed back from the state level. There's obviously the REAP funding, trail funding, and then it comes to county bonding, and then it comes back to the EMS funding by the townships. I guess will be an issue coming up. There'll be this is basically a draft, but they'll be sending out some of the changes that they're posing in those areas. We also looked at going back on the addressing going from 40 days that on the early voting. We now at 29 going back to the 40 days would be an issue for since I think it impacts urban areas probably more than any others. So there's quite a number of issues to be looked at, and I guess the other thing is who's going to represent the board in 2019. That's all I have.
Thank you, Frank.
I know that I definitely have an interest in the urban county coalition, just to think about.
What's your
I
name?
think it says in our thing that there's the chair and vice chair
Okay.
that make it up, but historically that's not happened.
Anything else to come before us? I will entertain a motion for adjournment then.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.